Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we are going to build a text generation web application. So which means basically we are not going to generate the text. It's a AI generated text, but I don't like to use the word AI here. So we can just simply say machine learning generated text. So we are going to use a GPT-2 model. So before we get into what we are going to build, this is how the output is going to look like. So you have ability to type something that you like. Let's say I can just type that football is a game, and then you can type enter, and now based on this prompt text that you have given, so AI is going to once again, I'm sorry that I don't want to say AI, but you're going to get some text based on that. So it's going to give you, so now you can just copy paste it and then generate more text based on it. So this is the same way GPT-3 works, but we are not sophisticated enough to use GPT-3. So what we are going to use is we are going to use a package called aitextgen that is built by Minimaxer, who is quite popular for creating a lot of open source package. So if you really like this project, the author has a sponsor page. Kindly sponsor open source development. So what this particular Python library does is it actually downloads models from HuggingFace model repository, and it basically leverages all these things: PyTorch, HuggingFace transformers, PyTorch Lightning, and it is built on top of the author's previous package. So it uses the existing GPT-2 models, the default pre-trained models, and then from that it is going to generate the text. And this is what we are going to exactly do. So we are going to first generate the text, and then we are going to wrap it around a Streamlit application. So we're going to use Streamlit to build the web app finally. So this is something that if you have not used Streamlit, or if you have never trained Streamlit, I've got a bunch of videos where we have built a pencil sketch creator using Streamlit, so I can link that video in below the like button, so you can check it out. And also, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and share the word with your friends. So let's go ahead and start building our application. So first of all, please make sure that you have got aitexgen installed. So if you are using Mac machine, then you might want to do pip3, or if you are using Windows and Python 3, you can simply do pip. So please make sure that you have installed this application. So that is the first step. And then second thing is you actually need a decent internet connection, because the first time when you're going to do it, it's going to download a big model, so you might want to use something like that. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to first create a folder in which we want to do the code. So it's basically to create a project folder in case if we want to deploy something. So I already have a folder, so we can use that folder. In that case, I can bring up that here. So let me close it, and then so I have a folder called textgen, and inside that folder I have already the code, but we can start scratch and then we can do the coding. So basically what we are trying to do, oh, the model is running, so let's stop it first. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we are trying to basically use this. I'm not going to teach you any new code, and the best thing about this Python library is that it has got only 3-4 functions. So the API is quite simple, and you can simply start using it. You don't have to do anything else. So first thing is let's try this at the IDE level first, and then we can convert it into a model. So we can just start copy pasting it from aitexgen. Import aitexgen, and then you say a is equal to aitexgen function. You initiate it, and then you can generate. So you need a prompt text. So prompt text is, I'm going to start with Python is awesome. So I have to save this as I've not saved this file, so it needs me to save it. So I'm going to save it as aitexgen.py, textgen2.py, and once I save that, next we have the prompt text. Once we have the prompt text, then we are going to say a.generate, and within generate you can actually specify number of text you want. We are going to basically start with 1, because we are going to start with 1 instead of using a text gen. We can actually use generate 1. So that's something that we can use, and our prompt is equal to our prompt text. We can give maximum length if you want. To start with, we can say max length is equal to 100. Okay, so now this is done. So let's run the code. Once we run it, it's going to run. Let's see if it successfully gives us the output. You can see it here. It's loading the tokenizer. Okay, so the caveat here is, if you are running this for the first time, the very first time, it is going to download the model required. So it's going to download a bunch of model if you are running it for the first time. It has actually generated it, but I think we did not print it. So what we can actually do is, we can call something called GPT text. I think you can see the screen, otherwise I'll just make it slightly big. Yeah, I think this should be good. You can see this. Now we can call it GPT text, and then we can print GPT text. Once I run it, it's running. So you can see that it has got a bunch of warnings. If you want, you can just disable it. It's using the default GPT-2 tokenizer, and then it is using the default model, and you can see that it has run something. So Python is awesome. I have to say, this is one of the best tutorials out there. You can see the videos by clicking it looks like my sites, my YouTube channel's advertisement. So it's good. So it has generated some text. So in this tutorial, we're not going to focus on fine-tuning the output or training custom model. So the idea is for you how quickly you can spin up a text machine learning based or deep learning based or the fancy way of saying AI generated text. Okay, so now the thing that we want, the framework or the skeleton, that I should say, the backend is ready. Now it's our duty to create the front end. So I've just created a requirements.txt file. I have put aitexgen. So I'll just add Streamlit also. So it doesn't make a big difference, but if I'm going to deploy this model, then probably this would require. So I'm closing it. So on top of this is what we are going to use Streamlit. Okay, so first thing is, we need from just import Streamlit as st. Okay, if you want me to add comments, we can for web dev, for aitextgen, and then instantiate the model or download it for the first time, and create a prompt text for the model. Okay, for text generation. Okay, this is a text gen section, and then finally we have print section. AI generate text. Okay, let's save it. This is good. So now what we want to do is, we have got Streamlit. So as you can see, for the interface that we just showed, we need an input where we can enter the text, and then we need a place where we want to display the text. Okay, so first is, we need a place where we want to get the text input. So that is where this section comes in. So instead of getting prompt text, what we are going to say is st.text input, and inside that the label, the title we are going to call is enter. Okay, enter your prompt text. And then if you give a default value, then you don't have to handle exceptions for having empty value. So we can say the default is something like computer is beautiful. I hope the output is not something problematic. So we gave an input text, so that is going to do the input. So next we need to show the output text. So here we have got the text input. So what we have to do is, we have to take this text and show somewhere. So st.text area, and inside that we can just say okay, this is multi-line text, and st.text, and inside that we can say GPT_text. Okay, so that is good. So now we can, it looks like we have got what we want. Let's give a try. So the way we run GPT model is to say that Streamlit run textgen2.py, and it's going to tell me where it is running. Looks like it is already running. Let's copy the URL and paste it. It's the same URL. You can see that it is running. It is not loaded yet, so the first initial step is still running. So our interface looks nice, but I think we have got an error. So prompt text is not defined. That is the error. Let's see where we have done that mistake. Prompt text. Yeah, so the problem is we didn't assign it to something. We need to assign it to prompt text. Okay, you can rerun it and you can now wait and see what is happening. Looks like it is running. Computer is beautiful is shown, and wow, nice. We have got the output. Computer is beautiful and fun. The code works together. Blah 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 blah. There are a lot of great other iOS application. Download the search tool. So it looks like somebody's app description is used here. Like I said, we are not fine tuning anything here. So the app works fine. But if you notice one thing, when you run that app, while it is let me just run it once again for you. While it is loading, you don't have any informative message. So if you're going to deploy this somewhere at the user end, so you want the user to get some informative message. You don't want them to think that something is like what is happening. You want them to feel that okay, there is something that is happening. They can in fact see the running at the top, but sometimes that's not good enough. So that is where we can use some aspects of Streamlit once again. So what we can use is we can first use let's say first we can have a success. So before this line, so after this gets executed, before this executed, we can have a success message. st.success a generated text successfully generated. A successfully generated some message. Okay, so I don't want to think so much on it. Successfully generated the below text. Let's save it and let's run it once again, and then let's see it's running. Now we can see how it is going to run. So let's see how the message is displayed, in fact, for that matter. So the other thing with Streamlit is every time you make a change, you don't have to necessarily stop that app from running. So you can just make the change and then rerun it at the top. So that is something that is possible. And yeah, so it says AI is successfully generated the below text. So that is good. But still, if you notice one thing, that one thing is while it is running, it is actually not showing anything, right? So you still have to look at an empty screen. Because while it is running, it's not showing anything. So that is another little bit. So all these things are not mandatory, but the idea of this tutorial is that you don't just build a shitty app, but you build an app that you can immediately deploy it. And Streamlit sharing, which is also something that already made a video about. It's a free service from Streamlit where you can deploy your application. So that it has some user experience aspect. So instead of looking at the screen and then wondering what is happening, so let's go and then add something that will help us. So which is text generation. We can say with st.spinner, and inside spinner we can say AI is at work, and we can and then we have success. Okay, so this looks like good. And enter your prompt text. Maybe we can have 3 dots. You can keep it bold or whatever you like to do. So you can do all those things. Let's save it. And like I said, once you save it, you can rerun it. If you rerun it, it's running the model. So you can see now in this case the entire screen is not blurred or blank, so you can actually see. So let me put a different text. In this case, Bill Gates once said, and it's going to generate some text. But the idea is that it is saying AI is at work. So it's not that entire screen is disabled or blurred, but you can actually see the part that is Bill Gates once said to be a true philanthropist. So it could be actually spitting out the actual text, so it may not be coherent because we are not fine tuning the model, but I think you get the idea. So now you have basically created a text generation application. So one bad thing is we don't have a title for this so far. So let's put a title. What is the title? The title is AI. What do I call? I don't know. Maybe we can call AI text gen web app. Not a fancy name, but yeah. I think if I want to call a fancy name, I need to call something like Siri Cortana, but I might end up with the copyright violation. In that case, I don't want anyone to take down my video. So yeah, so AI is at work. The work is happening now. You know that there is a meaningful message. Now you know it's successful. You got all these things. Streamlit also gives you a bunch of other options to show success, like ST balloons. So you can have Streamlit balloons, and it's you might feel it's childish, but yeah, means you have an option to use that. So what is wrong? So once you successfully generate, you might see some balloons, colorful balloons. Yeah. So it's successfully generated, so that is good. So you can keep on changing your prompt text and you get that application. So what we are currently using is aitextgen for that's a library made by Minimaxer. It is wrapping around a lot of libraries and helping you download the OpenAI's GPT-2 model from HuggingFace library hub, and then you can start using it. But if you want, you can also download custom model. So if you look at the documentation of aitextgen, it actually tells you how you can download a custom model, loading a model. So you can say this is what we are using it default, but if you have a different model, you can use it. Or if you want to download a different model that is in the HuggingFace model repository, you can just simply give the model repository and then you can start using it. So and also GPT-2 itself has different model sizes, so you can use different sizes, whether you want 124 million dimensions, 355, 774. So the higher the sizes, your speed is going to get impacted, not just the download speed but also inference speed. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. The other thing that I wanted to highlight here is we are again using the baseline values. We have not changed any parameters, which means the temperature is same. So you can look at other parameters that you want to optimize so that you get a better outcome. And the next use case is you don't want to use any default model. You want to train yourself. Let's say you like the way Shakespeare writes, or you like the way somebody you believe they write, so you want to train a model on top of it. You can do that. You can just simply use this code on our web application and save the model and then load the model from there, and then you can start using it. So you don't even have to have that model training in this code. So you can keep that separately, train the model, save the model, and load the model here, and then you can start using it. So once again, thanks so much for Streamlit. It is a wonderful application. The fact that you could spin up something like this just in a couple of lines of Python code, and you can also deploy it for free, which I'm not showing it in this video because I've already made a different video, and I don't want to dump Streamlit, their courtesy of providing a free sharing service with my projects for YouTube videos. So I don't want to do that, but it is a wonderful service. You can take this application and start putting it there. So maybe one extra tip is that if you want to deploy this, you might want to use st.cache somewhere while you are generating the text, so that if the prompt text is same, so you might want to convert this into a function, and then you need to use a decorator called st.cache. So that is something that you might need to do if you are using Streamlit deployment, if you are going to deploy it, because that will help you improve the app performance. So if you are using a prompt text, which is something like, for example, your default prompt text is going to stay the same. So every time somebody opens a new instance of this web application, it will not entirely again do the inference. It's going to take it from the cache and then it will give you. So you can actually look at the Streamlit documentation to see how cache is used for different use cases. Maybe we can have a conversation about it in the description, comment section also, but I think you get the idea. So if you want to deploy it, you want your app to be faster than what you are seeing. But even if this is the case, if you are deploying, I think this is a good working project, and it's a good project for you to even add it on your resume if you want. So AI generated text, so you have just did natural language generation by AI. I think that is it. We have reached the end of the video. Once again, thanks very much Maxwell for making this package, and thank you so much Streamlit for making this awesome library, which is something that I just love so much. Yeah, I come from R world. Shiny is something there in R which helps you spin up a web application so fast. So this is really amazing that you can do this. And if you have any questions on it, please feel free to mention in the comment section. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you like to see some other videos that is similar to this, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to make it possible if I can. Until next video, take care of yourself. See you.